Video game podcast.
Valve announces the Steam Deck, a $400 handheld gaming PC. All
Wow.
right.
It's a PC Switch.
You can say that, kind of. But
Starting at $400.
at the price, yeah, it's in that range.
Whoa.
You need to buy a dock too.
You don't need to buy a dock.
Well, if
You
you
don't
want
need
to
to
play it
buy
on TV.
No, you can use any USB-C wire
then-
or any dock.
But they're selling it separately anyway.
They didn't make it yet. But for the price of this device, it offers a hell of a lot. And I know that there's a lot of people talking about it. It's the wave this week of what's been going on. It came out of nowhere, apparently. Like it got announced the day before, and they said pre-orders are live the next day.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. First I heard about it. I was like, all right, whatever. Do I need it? And I was looking at it. I was like, oh, it's a full-on gaming PC, and it's powerful enough. It's basically the power of it is it has the power of a PS4 and an Xbox One. Portable,
Wow.
a portable version. of it.
That's dope.
And that's not the majority. Like, you can play AAA games on it, but the focus of it is that your entire Steam library is now portable. And I know people are very, very protective of their Steam library in PC gaming. Like, if you're Epic or anybody with another store, like, oh no, this has to come to Steam. I'm not downloading on the store. I'm not using anything but my Steam account, and I have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Humble Bundle games in Steam. For like $10, you'll get 30 games, and just to be able to carry it around with you. I mean, this is a complete PC. Like you can run whatever you want on it.
Really?
So if you wanted Windows 10, you could put that on there. Windows 11 when it gets up there, whatever. You can put Epic Store on there. It's a Linux-based system, so you can run Linux on it too.
Can you run emulators?
You can run anything you want on it. So it's a super powerful version that you can bring anywhere. Now, the biggest complaints I've heard about it, obviously it's not out yet, but people have tried it out online and stuff like that. The size of it is the main thing. If you're comparing it to a regular portable system, it is very, very large. And there aren't Joy-Cons that can pop off. It's not a screen like that. It's a full-on, complete thing.
So no motion controls.
It has gyro controls inside of it.
Okay.
So, and why would you want it's portable? What are you using motion controls for? But
I was just about to say, what the fuck you wanted that in there,
It's
dude?
just like your
it
phone.
knows you're
When you
moving.
play it docked.
It knows you're moving. You're going outside.
When you play it docked.
No.
It's a portable system.
If you play it docked, then it's a computer. All right.
It's a portable computer, man.
So, as far as the specs involved, the thing I like about it, I mean, obviously, you can't change anything, which is a good or bad. Like they said, you can change the memory in it. Maybe they don't recommend it because they want to. It's their ass. They say don't touch it. You might break it. So they say don't touch it.
You hear
But
that,
you can.
modders? You hear that?
You can do it. You can change the M2 chip in it, the memory. But they offer a 64 gig, a 256, and a 512. Substantial. The price goes up as you
Yep.
go there.
Of course.
The biggest difference between the 512 is that the screen is a non-glare screen. So the glass is different in that one, besides the memory. I did see a video that Essex did on his channel. He was talking about the main gripe with the system, some problems he might have had. I'm sure we're going to let you talk about that. My thing about why I think it's great is because you can run, as an emulated machine, you can run anything you want on it, basically. And when, if it's powerful enough to do that, it can run probably maybe PS3 when that comes up. Like, as far as emulation, you can run your PS2 on there, your PS1, and all the systems
Sega
up into
Saturn.
that. Say Saturn, everything. It's fully compatible with that on the go. And if you don't want it to go, you can hook it up to a monitor and get a keyboard and a mouse, or Bluetooth controllers and everything. You can hook it directly up to it.
Oh, so I can bring it to work.
So for that, yeah, and you can plug it in when that happens. But
Right.
But it's portable. It's just like you can play on a train. You don't have to be everywhere with it. Obviously, the battery depends on what you're playing. So if you're playing a AAA, if you're playing Cyberpunk with everything turned on, like it's gonna last like
5 seconds.
maybe 2 hours or an hour.
5
But you know
minutes.
what? My laptop, which is a gaming laptop, says, "Oh, it can last 12 hours or whatever." I've never bought a laptop that didn't last 2 hours when I turn it on. I don't care what I'm doing on it. So battery life is very weird for any of these things. But they say 8 hours. If I'm playing Netflix, it's gonna be 8 hours. Apparently, that's when you're watching movies, not touching it.
Right.
But the second you turn on anything that's using the processor, it's going to be substantially lower.
Yeah.
But
1 hour of game.
the fact that you're in your house, you don't have to turn your TV on. You can play it. Most people with their Switch, if you're playing it on the go, they'll play it in their bed. They'll play it on the couch. They'll play it with other people, stuff like that.
On the toilet.
Or on the toilet. Yes.
I got a nice 15 minutes in there, man.
Yeah, wow.
Good 15 minutes easily.
But the cool thing about this is that it's not restricted, and it's all one system, and all the systems are the same internals. So if you have a game, and Steam is involved with everything. You know how many upgrades we get for Steam on the computer? Every time a new game comes out, there's a configuration for it. So this is already built into a system that's only one SKU as far as what's inside of it. So everything that comes out game-wise will have a SKU, like based on the SKU, they'll have their settings set for it. So it'll be like, okay, this is running on a portable. I'll have the best settings for you. So it's more like a console, because my main thing, okay, I got a gaming PC, I got a gaming laptop. I played Grand Theft on it, and I was like, that should be running better. Let me jump into this. Let me jump into this options menu that has 300 different dials on it, and let me click around and see which one plays my 60 frames per second.
Oh, God.
And
It's like Fan Store Online too.
but you got to hit so many things in it, and I have no idea what's happening. So I'm like, do I need shadows? I don't need shadows. Let's get rid of these shadows. Oh, it runs better. So as far as running it the right way, I know it's supposed to run better. I messed it up. I messed it all up. And it's like, all right, it's running good, but is it 180 frames? Like, I have a higher hertz screen. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. And then I try it. I turn down the thing. It's like, okay, it runs better now. I just turn it down. But the fact that it's all in the system, the game does it for you. And that's going to be very easy for people. And then you can get the best output without worrying about it. And that's the main thing I didn't like about PC gaming.
Okay.
I don't have a big Steam library, maybe 20 games.
Yeah.
And that's very minuscule according to what people have on their Steam library.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can run all your indies, all your AAAs, and the screen, a lot of people have a problem with the screen not being 1080 or higher. It's 800, well, basically 720p. So
800p.
yeah, at the size that it is, though, and the fact that you're not going to be running it and you want to save battery and stuff like that, it's going to run the smoothest that way. So that's why Nintendo does it. That's why they do it. But as far as being a Switch contender, listen, Nintendo has their games. There's no real contender for Nintendo games. But Steam is huge. That's not going to be a sleeper.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that it's you put $5 down, it's not really like, oh, everyone's buying this thing. You put $5 down, you're in a queue to buy it later on in the year, like at the end of the year, beginning of next year. And making this thing is going to be hard because a lot of people don't have, it's the chips and everything, the chip shortage. So I don't know how many they're going to actually be able to make right away. But apparently they're pushing into, it's supposed to be end of December. They're pushing in the first quarter, second quarter of 2022.
Right.
Okay.
So I don't know what they're up to now. And if they keep on accepting how long that wait is going to be, I know I'm in the first quarter.
It's forever.
Yeah, forever.
Forever.
So, yeah, they have a memory card, and you can put a memory card in there. According to IGN, the games that they ran on it were all running from the memory card. So it's not so much of an issue as being able to play the games fast from that, depending on obviously what card you put in there. But I don't think the memory is a huge problem because I plan on using emulators on there. I plan on using indie games on there.
I'm sorry.
It's not illegal, but I plan on using small ROMs on there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As far as installing Call of Duty and stuff like that, like 200 gig games, I don't really play much of that. And if you're really into games like that, you're usually not running more than just that. Like if I'm talking to a Call of Duty guy, he's like, yeah, I got the new Call of Duty. Or I got the new Skyrim, I got the new whatever, Cyberpunk. Or like they don't have many of those games. So if you can put two of those on, they're pretty much set.
Yeah.
And they can play it on the go. They're fine with that. They're not playing that. Minecraft doesn't take up a lot. So the kids will be fine. But if you're putting in a 100 gig game, it's usually the 100 gig game. And that's it. And then you can put your other stuff on a memory card. If you really want to do it like that, if you get the smallest $400 system, you really better know what you're using it for. That's all. But there's
Interesting.
options. And plus, you'll probably be able to change it out later. And it's going to be cheaper by the time it comes out as far as buying that memory. So
No physical media, huh?
no, man.
All
It's
digital.
Steam. It's
I
a
know.
Steam. When do you buy a Steam game?
Have anybody been steamed at the price?
No, man.
Oh, okay.
It's very cheap for what it is. For the amount of what you usually pay on a game system for a PC, that's super cheap for what it is.
No.
And for what it plans to do. Obviously, it's not out, so I can't tell you what it actually does. But the fact that it is portable and it's like the power of a PS4 or Xbox One is intriguing to me
Yeah.
for that price.
The power's cool.
It's intriguing to me also, but only, like you said, for emulation. I don't see it being like the like the AAA thing to play.
The casuals don't want that.
Well, I'm just saying, like going back to the PSP, the Vita, they always, anytime they come out with a portable system that promises AAA gaming, there's always limitations, and there's always like a setback. And I think the biggest one is, is just number one. You can play what is it, Game Pass, right? So you have to download the games.
You can actually run it though if it's on Windows.
You can run it, but
You can do it.
as far as storage, it's like, you're
Well,
gonna
for
have
stream gaming, it's not going to be. You don't need the power if it gets streamed. If it goes in that direction,
but you need a good internet connection.
No, that's
And
different though. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
You can
though.
play
It's
that
just-
on your old iPod.
There's
if
limitations.
if it could take that.
There's limitations to all of that.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's gonna. I don't know.
But the fact that it's that powerful is a lot less limitation
It's cool that it's powerful, but it's
because you can get other things that are way. I mean, it's heavy too. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a heavy system. It's not the lightest thing. You can't throw that in your back pocket.
Rob, what do you think?
I worry about the history of Steam, to be fair, in the hardware market. I don't think they've made much good hardware. I think they've struggled, and not with this sort of thing, but with their controller that they did. I think that bombed. There was a Steam box type thing that bombed as well, and they just sort of back out. It gets to a point where they've got so much money from the Steam library, like you've said. I mean, Retro Bro just said in the comments he added 2 more games since he was even here, so we know where their money's coming from, so they kind of back out. But for me, look, as an emulation device, absolutely. But I mean, I don't know if you've seen them over there, but there's so many great, and by the way, this is before I even go down this road, this is not in a comparison to these devices, but there are so many great Ambernick,
Yes.
is it? A brilliant emulation device if you want to play certain, titles or back catalogues on certain libraries. Look, it looks amazing. I'm not going to lie. Jesus, it looks amazing. I want to buy one. But the problem for me is the amount of people that were going out, and I'm seeing it in the feed constantly. I can now play Call of Duty on the go, and I'm saying it's 130. It's 130 gigabyte, Warzone and Modern Warfare is 130 gigabyte download. I've got a 50 meg internet connection. I know you've probably got 500, I don't know. But in my house, I've got a 50 meg internet connection. Just for me to download that takes long enough. And I can't fit it on my 64 gig Steam Deck, so now I've got to buy the bigger one. So now it's not £350 to play Call of Duty on the go. It's now 450 maybe. And then I can only have 2 or 3 games if I'm playing AAA titles. Or I can use the SD card. But does the SD card give me the bandwidth to play a AAA title Warzone at how many frames are they doing? Well, like, what are the acceptable frames? We haven't seen yet, do we?
It's a 60 screen, so probably not more than 60.
So, yeah, you'd think it's going to be 60 frames and above, but or at 60. Keep it as optimal as they can at 60 frames. Is that going to happen off of the high speed SD card? I don't know. There's a lot of questions about this storage. Why couldn't they just put 512 in every single one and call it a day? I don't really know.
They're probably losing so much already.
It's a price thing, isn't it?
As far as memory, the memory that they're using is pretty expensive right now, but usually memory is like a $3 difference if they're doing, like, in the grand scheme of the process. It's like no more than $10 more than on each system. But when you're talking about millions,
well, look at what look at PS5. They had to have a certain and Series X. I know it's not going to run at that because it doesn't need to because of the resolution is not obviously as high as what they are. But they had to have certain. They will only authorise for certain hard drives to be used in the memory department, and that was because of speed. And we do seem to be entering this sort of speed of the hard drive or the storage media. And I just don't think it's been. And look, lo and behold, all the games were played off of the SD card. I mean, wow, well, you'd never have guessed that, would you? That the one thing that everybody's talking about, they were all played off of it. So I don't know. Look, it might get released, and I'll probably buy one the day after it comes out. I don't know if I can get one, probably for a ridiculously scalped price. But
as far as their hardware,
I just feel like I need to hold off on it. I just feel like playing Call of Duty while I'm walking down the street. Playing a game of Warzone on a 64 gig one, I just can't see happening. But I don't know.
I don't see the appeal in that, to be honest. To play Call of Duty while I'm like on a bus or on a train.
Why not?
For what?
Why not?
Look,
For what?
the first thing my 13-year-old son said was, "Oh wow, I'll be able to play Warzone on as I'm walking to school."
Wow.
Not yet. We're not there
Wow.
yet. 5G is not that fast. But maybe it is, maybe. But as far as their hardware, they have come out with the controller. The Steam box wasn't really their thing. They gave it to third parties and they went crazy with it, and that flopped right away because there was too many different ones. So, but as far as their controller, people did like their controller. They liked the touch thing on there. What they did was they took that and put it towards the VR controllers they had. So they did take that. It's basically a beta test to see how that runs, and everybody loves it on the VR, so they put it on there, and now they put it on here as the mouse and keyboard, mouse basically input. Yeah. On there. So that's cool that it's in there and everyone said that they like it. I mean, if you do play, I will not play with a mouse as far as the shooters and stuff, but I don't play first persons like that. But if you have to and you're content with using that and it's a lot faster to aim.
Nah, man.
A lot of people, no, I'm saying PC gamers will die by the mouse.
A mouse
Oh
pad?
yeah, nah. PC
And they have to
gamers
have
will
a
do
mouse.
it.
A mouse,
Yeah, they'll
yes.
murder you with a mouse.
Yeah.
A mouse, yes.
They'll make you look
But the
stupid.
fact that-
A mouse pad, no.
Well, the fact that it's on there and it's like the equivalent of that, when you get used to using it, they have an excuse to not. They're not going to imagine them carrying a mouse playing it on the go.
How do you do that?
You can't.
Just stay home.
Yeah,
Just stay home.
Just put a book on your lap and be like, "Yeah, I got you now." But but I mean, as far as the system itself and the scalping, they listen. These were going for like $5,000 on eBay right away off the $5 purchase. And I was like, dude, no, stop right away. And at least eBay took it down. They said, all right, enough of this. They haven't done it with PlayStation, nothing, but they said enough of this. These are just pre-orders. It's against the law to put them up as a pre-order.
Good on eBay for that.
So they took all that down. So they stopped it. They stopped the nonsense. But the fact that they did try, look, Steam tried to get you to get it the right way. You had to have a Steam account and you had to have downloaded something within the last month or so. So you couldn't just be like, oh, I got to make a Steam account to get in here, and then you go and get it. So they gave the people who actually use Steam the possibility to get it first, or to get in the line to get it first. So that was cool. But their site still busted when I went on there, and I had to wait like an hour. And I was on there the first minute. And it said, nah. And then it said, no, not taking money. And then it said, looks like you tried to pay too many times. You're locked out. And I was like, are you kidding me? I'm locked out because you won't take my money. Okay. Because it was already in the shopping cart. But then I had to wait, and now I have to wait to the next quarter to get the damn system instead of the first.
Oh, it sounds like a lot like the PS5.
I was just about to say, why is it? That story sounds familiar.
Well, no, at least I got through. No, PS5.
And it happened to you
want.
too, right? Or some shit with the Xbox, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the new systems in general.
that's
But you have to fight to get those. Like, you have to be on there, and it's ridiculous.
You know what I
But
miss?
this wasn't as bad. At first, everyone was getting pissed because it was blocking them out.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, I'm going to check back in a half hour. And then boom, it went through.
Dude.
It was good.
I
Could have been smoother.
I miss the
Actual product to go walk in and buy.
well, yeah, like I miss the days of like the midnight launch.
You're
you know,
old.
of-
You're old. Nah.
I miss those times. man.
Disrespectful.
I miss those times, man. When I got the Wii, remember it was me and Kev. We got the Wii.
That's
Yep.
like
We waited in line.
Yep.
Toys R Us.
that's like missing people
I remember
writing
that.
on
That's awesome.
tablets.
Oh, you mean when
shipping
you actually
shipping into rocks?
spend money on something and were able to
Physically
grab it and
have
take
it
it
right
home?
there. Yeah. Yeah.
Remember walking
That's
into
crazy
a store
talk. That's
Yeah.
crazy talk.
to go
now.
buy a console?
Didn't have to go online.
What's wrong with waiting
going.
half a year?
No.
I remember I bought my Xbox 360 basically it was absolutely hammering down with rain outside a shop, and I was walking past a PC World, they was called over here. They don't exist anymore. Well, they're called Curry's PC World now. But literally we're walking past and there's a queue, and I'm like, well, how many? And there was only about 3 or 4 people in the queue. Because the 360 wasn't that over here. I mean, look, it got some momentum, but originally it wasn't that in demand. And the original Xbox didn't do fantastically over here, believe it or not. But basically, we're in the queue, and a lady come out and said, right, and there was probably about 15 of us now. She said, right, 11 of you might as well leave because we've only got four Xbox 360s, and I was 4th in the queue. So it was awesome.
Damn.
And as the person behind me, like, there's all, like, I'm gonna sound like a right idiot here, but like, there's a mother and a child and all this. And it's like, sorry, son, we're not gonna manage to get the.
Not today.
No.
Sorry, kid.
And I'm sort of looking at number 3, you know, going, look, come on, you know, do you feel that? And number 2, you know, come on, you know.
That's the moral
It was-
dilemma.
Gotta be quicker than that.
I enjoyed that.
$300 for my spot. $300 for my spot. $300. If I get the system for free, I'll get it later. You know, people do that too. They just pay for it
course.
online. They sit there first online and they say, "Who's up? Who's up? Who wants
Thousand for my spot.
who wants the first spot?" And they'll sit there for 2 days. So you could have just went to work those 2 days and got that money.
Nah, you couldn't get $1,000.
Not 1,000.
I'm
Well,
surprised
depends
three
on
of us
what you
own a
do.
Series X.
Depends on what you do.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm interested in the system. I think it can do wonders for like the emulation scene, and to have something that powerful be that small and not be over $1,000 to get right off the bat. So
It's pretty cool.
pretty
They just need to get their story straight.
So let us know in the chat if you're interested in the Valve Steam Deck.